Hola friends, this is Grady coming at you with a last commentary video that I'm ever going to do. Technically, this isn't a part of any series. Stories with Grady, Love Stories with Grady, watching TV with Grady, watching movies with Grady, reading with Grady, all my different series. It's not a part of any of those different series. I'm just here casual in a sweatshirt. Last video that I filmed, I was in a button-up because it was my last Love Stories with Grady episode. But in this video, in this episode, it's not an episode of anything. It's just me pulling back the curtain and saying, what is the point of my YouTube? What was the goal? Why am I stopping my series? What's with all of this? So first, let's backtrack. Why did I even have a YouTube channel? In 2015, I started this YouTube channel because I was making documentaries. I was at a private school where I was going on mission trips, and every year for 3 years, sophomore year in high school, junior year in high school, and senior year in high school, I was filming these more and more advanced documentaries, which really taught me how to edit, different things along those lines. And I was out in the field though, videoing other people. I wasn't sitting down in front of a camera and videoing myself. That was the initial purpose of the YouTube, was simply to share those trailers for those videos that I gave out in person. In 2018, I decided to use the account just to have some fun. During the summer, each month, I took the time to shoot 3 short films. They were lengthy, 10 minutes plus. Actually, the first one, Speed, was shorter. The person I filmed Speed with, both of us agree that that definitely wasn't our best piece of work. But I really do enjoy the final 2 short films. They're anthology episodes, which means they're not connected at all. And I still even do enjoy the first one because I enjoy the memories of making it. So that was the purpose of the YouTube account in 2018. Then going into 2020, 2021, I started getting a lot more serious about my career being a writer. And I got super excited about being a published writer. I was starting to become better understanding of how I was growing in the area of writing. I was seeing each project I work on go up and up and up in levels of quality. And I was getting serious about saying, all right, I could have a future in this industry. I'm super excited of what could be down the road for this path. But one of the things that's really important in the publishing industry, not necessarily vital, but is important, it does help you, is having an established audience already who's going to buy your books. And so I said, okay, I really need to grind it out, really need to push towards having an audience that wants to watch my stuff. Because here's the thing, if I grow an audience on YouTube, that's going to grow my book writing audience. But when people buy my books and they find out I'm also on YouTube, then they're going to go and watch my YouTube videos. And it's going to be this ongoing journey where it's like when one of these things really takes off, it's going to help the other thing take off. And both of these things can help me make money, and I'm going to have more success because of both of them thriving. And so I decided that I wanted to focus on things that I really liked. I decided to start 4 different series. I'm like, all right, I'll start on the YouTube series. I'll be able to make these series and get in different markets because one of these series will be just simply stories with Grady in the background where I talk about celebrity stories of others and how they accomplished what they did, as well as talking about my own random stories. People will get used to me telling my own stories and telling stories about other people. That'll be exciting. I'll have another series called Love Stories with Grady, where with Love Stories with Grady, I'll really chat through what makes love, how to have a thriving love relationship, because for me, I really love the topic of love and I love evaluating love, and so that really stood out to me. I decided to make another series called Watching Stories with Grady, talking about TV and movies, and then the final series was Reading Stories with Grady, where I talked about things I was reading and my thoughts on them. So originally I was thinking, okay, this is going to get me into a lot of different markets, a lot of people are going to know this, the algorithm's going to pick it up and send it different areas, a lot of people will subscribe for different content, I'll keep things fresh, to keep things interesting. And throughout the journey, especially the first 2 months, I really learned a lot about creating content. I looked into more details of what it meant to create YouTube videos, how to do it successfully, how not to do it successfully. And also I was growing a lot too. My videos were really blurry in the beginning. I was very low energy in the beginning. My edits were not as well done. I didn't even have any music in the beginning because I didn't have any music that I could use without getting a copyright strike. Now I do because I've invested in some music. But anyway, so it's now been 6 months. It's been 6 months since I started posting these YouTube videos. And by all accounts, from how it looks to the natural eye, it didn't work. It didn't take off. And yes, eventually I'm going to be talking about where I'm going in the future with this YouTube channel, but first let's talk about reasons it didn't work. One was that I had super random content. Like I said, I had 4 different series that I traded off all the time, talking about a whole bunch of different things. I would always have one Love Stories with Grady episode, which was followed by one of those other series, the Stories with Grady, Watching Stories with Grady, or Reading Stories with Grady. Super random content. So here is literally the first like 10 to 12 videos that I ever posted. This is in the exact order that I posted them. All right, this gives you a good idea of how random my videos were being. The first video was about a love book from the 1950s. Second video was about a horrible thing that I put on a really bad sunburn. You'll have to check that video out to see what I put on my sunburn. Third video was about women period myths from the olden days. Number 4 was about an anime that made me question my morals. The next video was about why boys have voice cracks. The next video was about Steve Harvey's story becoming a celebrity. The next video was about how I thought babies were made when I was young. The next video was about a time that I was reading in my sleep. The next video was talking about a way not to be lonely. The next video was talking about my pet peeve reading young adult fiction. The next video after that was 5 reasons someone isn't ready to date. The video after that was guessing how I'd like future Marvel movies. The video after that was what expectations to have while dating. The video after that was why I social distanced years ago before it was cool. And on and on and on and on. Do you see how random that is? And how unfocused and unspecific and unniche it is. And I kind of knew going into this that was going to be a problem. However, in my mind, I was like, well, what's going to be an overarching element to all of these things? In each video, I'm technically talking about a story. And so the thing that's going to appeal to the people who subscribe to my account is that in each video, I'm adding some sort of story element into what I'm talking about. However, the YouTube algorithm doesn't necessarily recognize that one still small thing that even a normal person watching my account might not recognize, even for the fact that my account, my channel, is called Stories with Grady. So a big thing, and I'm not gonna blame this all on the YouTube algorithm. I don't think that's the only element. I think there's still probably a lot of areas that I can grow in regards to YouTube, and I don't think it's only the YouTube algorithm. However, it is a big part of it. When I am posting so random stuff, YouTube does not know who to show my videos to. And obviously, that's a problem for scalability. Another reason that these videos didn't work, and honestly, when I say these videos didn't work, I actually don't believe that they didn't work. I think about 2 months in to my videos, I pretty much found a groove, maybe 3 months. I would have to kind of look at certain things, but about 2 to 3 months into my videos, I really found a groove of what makes a good video and what doesn't make a good video, and I continually got better and better and better. And that was exciting to see, and I learned so much, and in that way, it was fantastic. For example, if one of my past Love Stories with Grady videos had 1 million views, or 100,000 views, or even 20,000 views, they would look at that and say, wow, that's a great video. That was a very well done video. That's a good job video. If it only has 20 views, it's the same content, but people might say, oh, that's not actually a good video because it only has 20 views. Or it's like, no, actually the quality of the video, the content of the video is the same. The question is, are people watching the content? The only thing I can control is what is the content that I produce, and then ultimately if people watch it, I can't fully control that. However, what I can do is make sure that what I am producing is all geared towards a same type of person so that they want to follow along with what I am producing. Another reason that this didn't blow up like I had hoped, and I didn't necessarily think I was going to be like 100,000 subscribers at this point or anything, but I did think I would have more than 100. I currently have 71 at the time of the filming of this video, which is crazy to me. I think when I started this, it was roughly 30, so I have gone up, but it's been a very slow process. Another reason that these videos didn't really take off was because, like I said, I was growing as a creator. I was working through what made a good video and also how to gear my camera, what to do with my mic, how to video edit me sitting in front of a camera and make it entertaining. All of that was a learning curve. Also, to that point, I'm a random guy sitting in front of the screen. From what I've seen in my market research of YouTube, YouTube is gearing away from commentaries of people sitting in front of cameras and just sitting here talking, and they're more gearing towards things like vlogs, lifestyle things, short films, things that are a little bit more engaging to the short-term mind. And for me, I actually really love watching people just sitting in front of their camera and talking. It's actually what I listen to a lot, is I just put them on double speed and I sit there and listen. So in my mind, it's what I'm consuming a lot and what a lot of other people are, but the majority of YouTube is more gearing away from that to more short-term minded things. I now call this, now that I'm wrapping this up, my 6-month experiment. And it's really helpful to look at it like that, because now I'm able to understand, all right, here's what I've learned and here's what I want to take in the future in order to get better at it. So I'm actually kind of slightly glad that my 4 series didn't take off, or that one of my 4 series didn't take off. And when I mean take off, I mean thousands and thousands of views are coming in for these videos, thousands of subscribers are coming in. I'm actually glad that didn't happen, and here's why. Talking about relationships and love is only sustainable for so long. I mean, ultimately, I planned on taking this book and spacing it out a little bit more than I did. When I decided that I would be ending my videos at the end of the year, I decided to beef up my video content and put more within my videos in order to get to the end of this book. And so that has been good. But like I said, it's only sustainable for so long. I also planned on including different people into my YouTube channel, talking to them about relationships, what they've learned from relationships, and so on and so forth. However, I watch a few accounts that talk about love all the time, and 3 to 4 years in, they're just running out of content. You know, how to break up with someone, how not to break up with someone. You can only talk about those things so much, where it's like, hey, we already have a video about that. And eventually I would have run into a dead end. Also, like, talking about celebrity stories felt like a semi-job. For me, I love sharing stories about my life, but ultimately, until you have an audience, no one really cares about that. Watching Stories with Grady, I only watch so much on the TV since I make myself so busy with other things that are more important to me. When it comes to books, I only have so much time to read, same thing with that, and I only have so much content to talk about. So anyway, all of these things were fine in the short term, but how long would have they lasted in the long term? So what I asked myself a few months ago is, what do I want to be known for with this channel? Do I want to be known as the relationship guy? Do I want to be known as the celebrity talk guy? Do I want to be known for the guy who shares stories about his life? Do I want to be known as the guy who talks about movies or TV or books? And what it really came down to was the core name of this channel. What I want to be known for, just like with my books, is the stories that I tell, and the messages ingrained deep within the stories that I tell. Not that every story that I tell is meant to have a message, but as one person has pointed out in the past, they tend to, regardless of if I want to try to put one in or not. So I want to be known for my stories, and I love telling stories, and I love writing stories. And growing up, I spent years and years acting out stories and writing stories to act out on a stage in front of other people. And so that leads to what's next. What's next? Well, going to Broadway. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not going to Broadway. Here's what's happening. In 2022 and on, we'll see, this might be another experiment, but I don't have an end date as of now. For 2022 and on, I will be filming short films. I will be releasing one a week. Some of them might be improv, some of them might be scripted. They are going to be semi in the vein of what I did in 2018, primarily the dance short film. They're going to be a lot shorter than the ones I put out in 2018. The ones in 2018 were roughly 12, 13 minutes, and the ones I'm going to be putting out there every week will be shorter than that. But I'm super excited about it because it's going to give me an opportunity to get better at writing characters. It's going to be giving me an opportunity to have more fun when I'm creating these videos. It's going to give me an excuse to get together with friends to film videos with. It's going to make my workload a lot easier because they're going to be 1 to 3 minute short films, maybe 5 minutes, I don't know. They're going to be very short films that are filmed in 1 or 2 locations, a few locations. I'm going to have to make sure I have self-control because I'm going to want to go all out and go all in. But keeping things simple rather than filming a bunch of commentary videos and filming 20 plus minutes for each video and trying to boil it down to a good time and spending every single week producing 20 to 30 to sometimes more than 30 minutes of content every single week on my YouTube account. The short films that I once did a long time ago were super fun, and I'm excited to have fun with them. The reason I say they're going to be mostly in the vein of the dance short film that I did is because that was a comedy short film, and my tendency, what I'm going to feel tempted to do, is produce short films that are all across on the genres. And I still might dabble in that sometimes, but I have to remind myself what I learned from this experiment is that when you are creating a channel, you want to make sure that it kind of stays in the same niche. So if people are watching your short films to laugh, you want to make sure that they laugh rather than cry or feel tense from like a thriller-esque short film like we did with Zoned, the short film, sci-fi short film that we did back in the day. So I need to make sure that I stay mostly consistent with the theme. So it's going to be mostly comedy, and I'm going to have a lot of fun with it. So when does this roll out? It's going to roll out in the beginning of 2022. When is the beginning? Plan is, as of now, the first few months of 2022, I'll likely be filming a good chunk of videos before I start releasing them on a weekly basis, just so I have some backfilling. Continually being updated, because I'm sure writing and planning a short film, that also takes time as well, just like planning my Love Stories with Grady videos took time. And hey, if you're a friend of mine, text me or message me on Instagram and let me know that you would be interested in filming short film. I would love to film with you. You do not have to be an actor. Most of the people that I will be filming with aren't actors. It's just going to be people who want to have fun, who want to just do something creative, very short, and we're just going to have a blast. And it's just doing something one moment, and it's going to be on YouTube forever, which is kind of exciting because you're always going to be able to look back on it, laugh on it, and remember a memory, which is fun. What's the goal of me putting out short films next year? Well, obviously expanding audience is super important to me. Having a good audience who really loves stories, because if they like my stories in short films, they'll likely want my stories in book form. Some of that won't overlap, but some of it will. YouTube is a fantastic way to make money once you've expanded it to a certain level, whether that money is your primary money, or if you don't want to rely fully on YouTube, it can be secondary money, and it can be a good chunk of secondary money if you grow it to a certain level. And here's what I know. There's nothing that currently large YouTube channels are doing that I can't do or that I can't learn to do, whether it's commentary videos or whether it's short film videos. And that's really exciting to me because I know how talented I am and how I will continually learn to become more and more talented and show my talents in the future. And I look at many other YouTube accounts and I say, with enough work, with enough of a push, I can do exactly what they're doing. And if they are no different than me, then why can't I accomplish everything that they have done and provide for my life just like they've provided for their life through YouTube, which is pretty cool. And like I said, I'm not planning on YouTube being my full-time only job ever in the future. That's not what I want. However, I do know that there is no cap to the income that you can make on YouTube, which is really exciting. I have what it takes to make it. The question is, will I be patient and disciplined enough and have enough fun in order to make it? And what does making it look like? That's a whole nother discussion. Making it, in my eyes, looks like having a fantastic audience that might grow slow, might grow fast, but a fantastic audience that engages, that makes it worthwhile to put in the work. So I really love every single person who has ever commented on my videos. I have loved seeing your comments and I've loved engaging with it. And I've loved your feedback when you send me feedback, whether personally or here on YouTube. I just love it. Here's my wrap up. Thank you to everyone who has watched my journey so far. So far, on all of my Love Stories with Grady episodes, all my Stories with Grady episodes, all of my commentary episodes, I have never even got over, for one of those videos, over 100 views, which is crazy to me because going into this experiment, 6-month experiment, I never expected that my views would be so low, which is just amazing to me. Because when I did my short films in 2018, they got, 100, 200, 300. I don't know if I got past 300, but regardless, they got a decent amount of views, and I was surprised by that. I was surprised by how the performance of the short films back then were different than the commentary videos now. I know a lot of the reasons for it, but it's still surprising. So anyway, the point of this is, for all of the less than 100 views that I've gotten for each and every single video, I'm incredibly grateful, because even when I get 1 view or 2 views or 3 views or 5 friends who are watching my videos and giving me their feedback, I love it so much. It shows me that I'm not just talking to a camera, but the camera is eventually communicating exactly what I communicated to other people. I'm really excited to keep creating content in 2022, and I'm really excited to hear more from you about the content that I create. If you ever want to do me a favor with my YouTube channel, if you ever see a video of mine that makes you think of someone else, whether it's an old video or an upcoming short film, send it to them. YouTube pays attention to that. Also, if you like, YouTube pays attention to that. If you subscribe, YouTube pays attention to that. If you comment, YouTube pays attention to that. And once YouTube recognizes what I'm doing and that people are engaging with it, they push it out more to other people. And as subscribers goes up, YouTube pays more attention. It's all a business. It's all a business because YouTube wants their creators to thrive. And so if someone is doing fantastic, they want to push that out. Also, it's great to have these Love Stories with Grady episodes and all the other episodes archived so that eventually when the audience grows, then they can go back and watch those videos as well. All right, friends, have a fantastic New Year's. If you're watching this live, New Year's is coming up. I'm super excited about my New Year's and my New Year's Eve. It's going to be so awesome. And so I hope you're having a fantastic time with your family. In the meantime, prior to New Year's Eve, why don't you just binge some Love Stories with Grady episodes? I had a lot of fun making those. And so I hope you enjoy if you choose to look back on them. All right, adios, my friends. This is literally the last commentary video I'm ever doing, likely for the foreseeable future. And so I'm very blessed that you watched this all the way to the end with me. All right, adios and sayonara.